Hey everybody, I'm live. It's time for a guided meditation for a healed America. Well, welcome. Feels like you're all far away. Let me move some things. Hello, glad you're here. Yippee! We're live. This happens much less often these days. How you guys doing? We need to meditate. We need to visualize. So, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday. I hope you had a good day. I know there's a lot of stressful conditions happening out there. We're back to having a huge windstorm. It's a new thing around here. Let me get a little closer to y'all. So, it's been quite an interesting day. We saw Christy Nome being grilled to the point where she was like, "Oh, I have a meeting. I gotta go." So that was interesting. The windy in DC, yeah. Lots of changes to the climate cause this kind of thing. Snowing in Rochester, New York. Well, you're kind of in the snow belt, so that's understandable. Right? That's a snow belt, Barbara, right? We haven't really had snow yet, just a few sprinklings. I hope that you're all tuning in daily to Off the Ledge. I was kind of thinking I'd combine Off the Ledge with PNN, but I think I won't do that. I suppose I just want people to understand that, like, it reminds me that Dr. Wayne Dyer has a book and it's entitled There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem. And I think that's the message that I want to really convey about the times that we're in. The times that we're in require us going like to a different level of working on the energy level. And that's a message that I try really, no, not try. I don't say try, that I do intend to get across. I feel like I'm always like attempting to pound that into all of our heads, right? There's the spiritual solution is the solution that works. So the spiritual solution is the solution that works. So that's why we gather. I want to mention that I found it helpful to go, and I'll give you a source for documentaries and movies like what I'm about to mention. Any movies that come out, and Gaia is a great app. It's GAIA, Gaia. Is a great app to watch documentaries about like the new research about energy and consciousness. And I read at Church of Spirituality, I did one reading from Greg Braden. And actually, I just kind of took dictation. I saw him on YouTube talking about that the science is showing, this is a science that you don't really hear about very much. The science is showing that we really are like, human beings are kind of like little receivers, like the same concept of a radio. Remember the old-fashioned radios? Where the radio, the device, if you break open the radio, remember radios? You don't see a band playing inside the radio. The radio is the channeler. It channels. It's the object that channels in the information. So we are more like that. So when we get into our spiritual mode, we actually connect. We're connecting to the higher consciousness. And I keep on telling you, I'm going to do a video on 3i Atlas, and I'm going to give you my impressions on 3i Atlas. And I might combine that with psychic predictions for the coming year. Last year, I was very inhibited about it because it didn't feel good. So if you see a video from me, because this is how I work, that's predictions for 2026, you can maybe like just know that I feel better about 2026 than I did about this year. We have to rely on the etheric, the cosmic, the spiritual dimension. We have to rely on that technology. We do. What are you saying, Darren? A friend of yours went to renew her driver's license in Pennsylvania. The guy asked her if she wanted to change her political party from Democrat to Republican. She said a bigly no. That's interesting that he would ask her that. That's rather inappropriate, don't you think? Speaking of that, Al Green and Jessica Denson, they were able to once again introduce articles of impeachment for this regime, basically. Dumpy, Keg's Breath, and RFK Jr., and the rest of the bozos. And they got a lot farther. I know it's kind of disconcerting, but they got a lot farther with getting Democrats to vote. They didn't win, but to vote. Like Steve Scalise got up there and he was like, we need to vote to table this, right? So, the Republicans vote to table it. Al Green brought up the fact that this quote unquote president has called for the hanging execution or the execution of former members of our military and members of Congress. And that's grounds for impeachment. I am appalled, and I know you are appalled, that in the face of what we're seeing, Dumpy colluding with Russia, it's not a hoax, colluding with Russia, and destroying people's lives, destroying the economy, lying nonstop, having this malignant narcissism, sadism, and cruelty being the point as their main thrust of what they're doing, that any so-called Republican would want to block any discussion further about impeaching this regime is flabbergasting. It is shocking that they're voting to have this continue. Essentially, they're voting to have it continue. They're deciding that these Republicans, they're deciding that they want more of this. They don't want to put an end to it. So the good news about that, even though it's a little bit disconcerting, it's like, why aren't more people on board with impeaching, at least impeaching? But they got like twice as many Democrats to get on board with voting to not table this. So it's we've heard to say it's a marathon, it's not a race, right? It's taken a little time. So hang on one second. I always appreciate it when people keep the focus on what's going on here. So I just wanted to say that. So back to Kristi Noem, she really got grilled today. I also want to mention that I did send out I finally came up with a technique to use our minds to, besides this every Thursday night, a technique to use our minds to change the course of things. If you'd like to receive that, send an email to AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Kristi was grilled like a cheese sandwich. She really was. Okay, one sort of housekeeping thing. I think you all know because we're all friends and I talk to you about everything that's going on, around here. That's relevant. I got Wi-Fi in here now. Now they have it that it's a lot easier to set up and you can kind of do it on your own. So I have Verizon, I have Wi-Fi here. It's just newly being used, and I'm pretty sure I'm using that network right now. So I think things should be good. Electrostorm is asking, do we still do our affirmations from 12 noon as well? The more, the better. Yeah, the more, the better. Let me just tell you, just going back to what I wrote up to offer to people to do on a regular basis. What I'm offering is not a certain time of day or anything. It's more like when you think about these evil people where the cruelty is the point, that are destroying our country and, you know, kind of destroying the world too, right? That's part of it. Potentially destroying the world. When you think about them, to actually do a little bit of a mental technique with that. Okay. So Jackie got the email this morning. So great. So if you want that, you're not going on an email list or anything. I will just forward it to you. All right. We have about 4 minutes before we start our guided meditation. I've used the guided meditations more frequently, you know, from other Thursdays. If you need a break in your day and you just want to like chill, go to any Thursday night live stream under the lives here on my channel. Just pick one. And as you know, the regulars here, as you know, we chit chat for 15 minutes. So you can bring up anything that's on your mind. We chit chat for 15 minutes and then we go right into our guided meditation, 15 minutes or so. Okay. So Jackie already used the thought technique. That's a good way to put it. It's a thought technique. Does anybody have any questions about anything? I did hear that, I mentioned a while back that I was doing a PNN one night and I saw, this is maybe last week, as far as what's going on in Europe and with Russia and Putin and all that, I was a little distressed to see psychically boots on the ground in Ukraine from Europe. And so it's looking like it's going in that direction where the things can escalate. So hang on one second. Hang on. Let me just check something. Let me just check the Wi-Fi. I'm still here. Sorry, I left for a second. I was just checking. Yeah, it should work. We're just doing a Wi-Fi check. It should work. So Mark Ruti is talking about, he's actually said that Europe needs to prepare for the war that their parents and grandparents fought. So, you know, that's really disturbing to me. But here we are. We're meditating. We're doing the work. Okay. Are you getting buffering? Well, let me tell you about that. This Wi-Fi should be way better than what I had. So what's going on these past several days is we're having massive solar flares. And with the 3i Atlas stuff, not that that's going to produce solar flares, but just to make the point, there's a ton of cosmic activity going on out there. So expect the unexpected. Right? Okay, so make sure you're in a comfortable spot. Like I said, the meditation is only 15 minutes, or sometimes I kind of like, I'm not watching the clock or anything because my eyes are closed too. Sometimes it's 20 minutes, but that's it. And I encourage you to do the meditation during the week. I never know what I'm going to channel. Yeah, the coronal mass ejections from the sun affect a lot of what we're doing. Yeah. So, yeah, make sure you're in a quiet place where you won't be interrupted, okay? And we have about 20 seconds left. And then I just end the meditation. I never know what the guides are going to give me. I just go with it. And I just end the meditation. I say namaste, and, you know, you can keep meditating but that's just how I end it. So we're at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And hold it. and a longer breath out. And just give yourself permission to relax. Just tell your body it's okay to relax. Give yourself permission to relax. Recognizing that relaxation time and chill out time is just as necessary. Sometimes it's more necessary than being productive and moving around and being busy all the time. So follow that breath in and hold it as long as you can. It's different for everybody. Now when you need to, just a long exhalation, make it longer than the inhalation. Just allow yourself to become relaxed and centered. Follow the breath as it moves in and out. Breathe naturally now. Breathe slowly and naturally. And bring your attention to your heart center. Imagine your heart center is a rosebud that's closed. But with your attention on it and with your breathing into the heart center, the petals begin to loosen and open up ever so slightly. Feel a sense of peace in your heart and allow that image of that rose that's opening ever so slightly. Allow that to represent the love that's in your heart being more open, your heart being more open. And just be in the sense that it's safe to allow your heart center to open a little bit more, whatever's comfortable, just to keep your heart center receptive. It feels good to keep your heart center receptive. Now gently bring your focus to your toes and relax the toes and relax the soles of the feet and the tops of the feet. Let go of all tension and strain. Relax your ankles and your calves. Allow your knees to relax and your thighs. Feel them becoming very heavy. Allow gravity to pull your body, the weight of your body down. Relax the buttocks and hips and lower abdomen. Relax the tailbone and bring your attention up vertebrae by vertebrae, relaxing each vertebrae one at a time till you reach the base of the skull. And scan your entire spine and allow it to relax. Relax the stomach and waist area. The entire back and the diaphragm, the big muscle that lifts up your rib cage and allows you to breathe. Lifts your rib cage up and down. Relax your lungs and your heart and your ribs. Allow that relaxation to travel up into the shoulders. Your shoulders become heavy. The relaxation moves down into your arms and elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers. All is well. Relax your throat, your neck, and your jaw. Allow your jaw to become slack. And then allowing all the many hundreds of muscles in your face to release and relax, and the scalp to relax. And imagine a huge ball of light, just like the sun, about 5 feet above the top of your head, shining a strong beam of white light into the crown chakra, looking like a fluorescent tube of light moving down through the center of your body, exiting at the tailbone, and entering into the floor, into the ground, and into the earth. This huge ray of brilliant light shoots rays of light into your entire body. Feel it. This is a divine cleansing, balancing, healing, recharging light. Feel yourself energized but still relaxed. Alert, energized but still relaxed. And recognize yourself as an energy being, using the thought energy, the consciousness within you in this meditation time to create outcomes together that are for the highest good of all, that are for the healing of the planet, the healing of human consciousness, the restoration of good, so potent and powerful that it supersedes the evil and cancels and conquers the evil effortlessly. Imagine your consciousness itself, whatever that looks like and feels like to you, is ascending into the ethers, into the stratosphere. And your consciousness itself, your awareness is way, way up. Your physical being is still seated in the chair, yet your consciousness is elevated up into the stratosphere. And from that place, you're looking down at the earth. And the earth is positioned in such a way that you're looking at the United States, the Americas. And imagine that you see light everywhere. But there are little pockets of darkness. You don't have to know specifically where. Just notice there are areas of darkness. And these are the places that we're going to shine light from our perch in the stratosphere as we're looking at the globe. We're looking across the ocean and the globe, on the globe to Russia. And we're just observing, and we're seeing that there are holes, like black, dark holes of energy that are interrupting the light that surrounds the planet. And these different countries all have dark places where the lower vibrational frequency is residing. And we're just being aware of it as a collective consciousness, with our consciousness in the stratosphere. And you're not the only one. There are other consciousnesses doing the same in the collective. Perceiving the state of our planet from a higher view. And imagine all those who are thinking about the need to heal the planet, that have been praying, that are intentional, that know that we must use our power and our consciousness to transform the darkness on this planet into light, to transform the evil into good, to obliterate the evil. All those who want this, their consciousness is also up there in the stratosphere, observing the planet and noticing the same thing that your consciousness is noticing, these dark spots of evil. And imagine that you all have the ability, we all have the ability to direct beams of light into any spot of darkness. And with our consciousness, we can do that. You can imagine yourself as a physical form in the stratosphere, sending beams of light through your third eye center to all the places where the darkness is. No concern about whether you're getting it right. Just be in the awareness. And notice that all these other beings in the stratosphere, these other consciousnesses of other humans on the planet, they're doing the same. And now you see flickers of light everywhere as we, with our consciousness, way, way up above, are all together shooting rays of light into the dark places in these countries, particularly the United States and Russia, and also in the Middle East, and anywhere else where there is conflict and suffering. And it almost appears as like old-fashioned camera flash bulbs. We're shooting flickering rays of light all over. We are, with our consciousness, sending light to where it's needed without a need to hyper analyze or be hyper specific. We're sending our light energy to the dark places in these countries. Shooting rays of brilliant light into where the darkness lives. And as you're engaging in this, you're amazed at how much light is shooting down into these dark places. And imagine these dark holes of evil are now filled up with light. They're no longer dark. They're full of light. Similar to digging a hole in the sand at the beach and the water rushes in. The dark holes are filled now with light, and you see a new light created by our consciousness emanating from the earth, and there are no more dark spots where evil resides. There's like a film of brilliant white light surrounding the entire earth. And we sense that we have sent the most incredible, the most powerful healing energy onto the planet. And all the plans for escalation of war are stopped. Evil is stopped. The destroyers are stopped. All those that are ravaging this beautiful planet are stopped. All those that are attempting to destroy the planet are stopped. Insatiable, destructive, cruel greed is stopped. And with this light energy that we've installed with our consciousness together, we feel like we've gotten a grip now. We feel that the light that may have felt like it was slipping through our fingers and not engaging is now engaged. The dark holes have been filled with light. Evil has been replaced with love and goodness. There is nothing weak about this. We are powerful. And now begin to imagine that your consciousness that was out in the stratosphere with all those other consciousnesses of the collective is being brought back into the room. And feel yourself in your body. And just imagine that you're watching some news on your device, whatever you use. Imagine yourself viewing the news in light of what we've just done and noticing the news shifting. These wars end. The fascist regime in the United States has been removed. Environmental organizations and governments and programs are reinstated. Democracy returns. Freedom, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, goodness, grace, and healing are what's evidenced in all the news that you're taking in now. You're noticing a shift happening. You're noticing the momentum has finally kicked in. Feel the feeling. Feel the feeling of that being the case. All cynicism is gone. All sarcasm is gone. All disbelief is gone. All doubt is gone. Just know the truth. Love has always been stronger. The light has always been stronger. And together we are healing. Now bring your attention back to the sensation of the breath as it's gently moving in and out. Relax your focus. And I'll count up from 5 to 1 to bring you to an awakened state. But feel totally free to continue meditating if that's what you choose. Before I count up, notice a discrepancy between how you felt before the meditation and how it feels now. That's good reason to do the meditation again, when you can. 5, 4, 3, 2. At the count of 1, when I count to 1, you can open your eyes or continue to meditate. Give yourself a big thank you for participating in this important work. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And 1. Namaste.